The future is everything that we can be but have not yet become. The future is everything that we can do but have not yet done.
We had quite a few interests growing up as children in satellite town, Lagos, Nigeria. Some of those interests included drawing comic books, playing board games, creating our own special board games, writing short stories. And you know, they say that typically what you had a passion for when it didn't matter whether you earn money from it or not is probably what you should be pursuing. I remember a cartoon character I created called Bionic Woman. There were quite a few others, but that's the one that's in my memory now. We created a board game that was more or less a copy of Monopoly. I wrote a short story called The Bride Price when I was in JSS 2. My father was a good writer himself. In fact, he taught me something called iambic pentameters. We can talk about that another day. And he reviewed my book, The Bride Price, probably 20 pages long. He was excited that I had started writing, and he had a few thoughts on it. I eventually wrote 𝐤𝐴𝐻𝐿, this book, in sometime in the 90s, in the late 90s, really. So that was before I went to university, actually. So when I graduated from university, I got to publish it in 2010. What memories do you have from your childhood? What would you like to correct? What you'd like to see in your children, for example? That's the kind of thing we're going to talk about today. And we're just going to talk about that after this short break. So hang in there, share this with someone, and let us know where you are dialing in from. Welcome back. Now, when we have children, I know some of you have children. If you want to share, how many children do you have? What do you think about them? You can do that in the chat. Some of us have children, and when we have children, we want them to do better than we did. We have dreams in our hearts for them to fulfill. We want them to get things done faster than we did in life. And in essence, for any advancing society, sons must be greater than their fathers. But we don't have to force them to that mold of our own fantasies. But it only makes sense that we should give them opportunities that we did not have, whether those opportunities are in education, in exposure, in all sorts of enlightenment, all sorts of opportunities that we probably did not have. Some parents want to tell their children, oh, when I was like you, I used to walk to school, therefore learn to walk to school. When I was like you, we didn't have this and that, you know. But you see, for any advancing society, the sons must be greater than their fathers. And when I talk about sons and fathers, it's not just your biological children. Nurin Wahab Latte, whom we are going to be talking to today, he's taking care of a lot of people, a lot of kids who are not his biological children. And we're going to talk about that today. He's making it his business to create a better future for some others out there. When we do parenting, when we do coaching, writing, we are creating, we are framing, we're forming another generation, whether that other generation constitutes children we give birth to, or children that came across our path. We have to make sure they are greater than we are. Or working hard to give someone else something we never had. That's something we never had. It's not just about comfort. So living again through your children, through those after you, is not just about comfort. It's also about perpetuating strong values in those you have influence over. It's not just about keeping the reputation of your family name. It's about shaping the society your children are growing up in. So it's not just about, I don't want you to embarrass me in public. It's about looking over your wall and looking at the public that you're referring to and asking yourself, is this where I want my children to grow up in? So it's not just about escaping the problem, because many of us try to escape the problem, live in a secluded area, jackpot, or do something else that removes you from the problem. Don't just try to remove yourself from the problem. There are problems to be solved. And it's not just also about sustaining our own successes. I was a lawyer, my child must be a lawyer. It's also about learning from failures. So we don't have to feel that we don't have anything to pass on. Yesterday, I spent some time introducing these 5 elegant persons who are doing amazing things in their various areas of expertise and focus. And today we're going to be talking specifically to Nurin Latte. He's Ghanaian and he is the founder of Theresa Naomi Memorial Foundation. And before I talk a little more about them, or before we dive into that conversation, I want us to talk about crowdfunding. I got to know a little bit about crowdfunding when we dabbled into entrepreneurship back in 2016. We wanted to open up a platform called Ventcell through one of very smart developer that we had to deal with. And talk about crowdfunding, got to know about Indiegogo, got to know about Kickstarter and some of those other platforms which were foreign platforms. But the thing about it is that we were crowdfunding in Africa long before platforms came. Many people in my father's generation went to school because the community said, let's have one person among us go to school, and they put money together. And I'm sure that may be your experience from your hometown, if you know your hometown well. Everyone will leave behind whatever they've accumulated. You probably know about 𝐜𝐴𝐺. He was a very rich man in the 80s, but recently a video started circulating online about his exotic cars, dozens or maybe about 20 of them, which no one is driving, an empty house. I don't know the details of that, but the truth is that after some time, whatever we have now, the universe is entropic, which means everything is decaying. So the best use of anything in this world is to use it while it is useful. Everything is decaying. Everything is decaying. The cars are decaying. So I often question myself, what problem are we solving on this continent? Are we solving a poverty problem or an equality problem? Think about it. I once challenged someone and said, and he's told me that Nigeria is the richest country in Africa. The problem is not that there's no money. The problem is that the money is shifted or tilted to a certain class. And we need to really think about that. And that's why we want to do what we're doing today, to support the likes of Nurin Wahab Latte, who are creating some kind of equality. Imagine the opportunity we could create for young people if they are simply educated. If they have an opportunity we did not have, we make our sons greater than our fathers. So I'm going to pause here first of all and then come back to the chat. I want to appreciate Chisom for joining us. She says hello from Nigeria. And I know Chisom is going to tell us how many children she has. She has done a great job and that. And I see, and all the way from Switzerland. Thank you so much, Anne, for your commitment, and we appreciate the sacrifice you're making. I know I wouldn't say it online, but I appreciate that you are able to attend today. So I'm going to turn to Wahab, and I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself. Remember, yesterday I said when we were speaking with Heather and Ifome that the best person to blow your trumpet is you. So if you have a trumpet and you've been practicing on it, you are the best blower of that trumpet. So please introduce yourself for us and tell us a bit about your backstory. Where you're coming from, what's driving you, what's in your heart for this world. Tell us about your mom, your grandparents, how this has woven the man you are today. You have the floor.
All right. Thank you very much, Kenneth. Good evening to your lovely audience. My name is Wahab Nurin Latte. I am a Ga, 100% Ga. Born in Labadi, grew up in Labadi. But growing up, and we all live in compound houses. Okay, so it's always that community, like you mentioned, where one person, the community comes together and say that, okay, we are going to invest that money into you for you to go to school. Okay, my case was not like that. I got a scholarship from the community also, Black Community Bank, to attend my senior high school for my invest in infant spam school. Okay, the oldest and the best secondary school you can have. You can argue that out later, but it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. For my university education, I studied computer science and engineering at the University of Mines and Technology, Takwa. I recently completed my MBA from University of Ghana Business School. So through and through, it's been technology, technology, technology. By night, I'm a software developer. By day, I'm a middleware support specialist. And then weaving all of this together, I ran the Theresa Naomi Foundation also. So
Wow.
growing up, I've I've always had an issue with my mom, and not in a bad way though, but she was the type that was always giving everything that we have, or was always sharing everything we have at home, from food to clothes to whatever it is. Anyone that needs help can be 90% assured that, okay, if she has some, she's definitely going to share with you.
Mm.
So service community, it has always been part of me, but not running it in the limelight like I'm doing with the foundation now, until somewhere in April, no, March 2022 actually. But before we come to March 2022, December 2011, she has been sick for a while, for about, yeah, 5 years. Okay. And December 2011, 2021, actually, it turned very, very bad, right? January, I eventually put everything I have. I think you have been in EcoBank, or you've been in the banking side for a while. January, we all take our rent
Yeah.
allowance.
Mm.
Yes. It comes in big, and everything went into um, the medicals,
Mm.
right? By February, everything I had in EDC has also gone into it. Then by March 5th, that fateful morning, I got a call from my brother that
Mm.
mom is dead. But the day before that, okay, I think he's probably on the call, Akim Latte.
Mm.
The day before she died, I think all throughout the sickness, she always told you, let me go. Am I? And I was always like, oh, nah, you can't go. We'll, we'll do our best. Let's keep fighting. But on 4th March, that evening before I left I said, okay, at this point, you can go. And to my surprise, the following morning, I got a call that she's dead. I kind of felt guilty in a way because, yeah, we've always had episodes where we rush her to the hospital and all of that, but we always come back home. The one time that I said you can go, she actually went. Okay, so at that point, there was a lot of pain, there was a lot of anger because you've spent virtually everything you have, okay, in paying hospital bills, trying to make sure that she gets better. You have passed everywhere, okay, from churches to Malam to the other one I won't mention, but you definitely know. Everywhere you hear that there could be hope or there could be a sign of, she recovering. We have passed there. We've paid amounts, we've bought everything they have asked us to, from buying chickens to buying coffins to buying what have you, just to make sure that she survives, and she didn't. Right. So when she passed away, I think throughout the morning period, we had people coming to the house and, everybody is crying. But when you listen to most of these people crying, most of these people are crying that who is going to pay their fees, who is going to pay their children's fees, who is going to give their children food. And I'm like, no, this my mother, she doesn't have that much money to be able to do all of these things. But not knowing all the issues I used to have with her, where you give her money on a Sunday, by Tuesday, Wednesday, she says the money is finished. These are the places that the monies were going. So I took it upon myself that I am going to try and continue that legacy, continue that service that she has started. And that is where Theresa Naomi Foundation started from. So Theresa Naomi Foundation was actually birthed in a period of mourning. In fact, it was launched on the Sunday Thanksgiving service of a burial. That's actually the day that we launched it. So basically, that has been the backstory. And 4 years, we're in our 4th year now, and here we are.
Wow. Do you remember what was she diagnosed with again? Do you know that?
Okay, so she was treated. She was being treated for diabetes, hypertension, but the death reports actually said, is it pulmonary embolism? Something got burst somewhere or something choked on. Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. So sorry. I'm sure it's very hard.
Yeah, we are stronger for that.
Yeah. Okay, so she was taking care of children with the meager resources, so to speak, that she had. So it wasn't an issue of I have so much money, I have much to spare. It was an issue of I have a heart that others around me can have an opportunity that I may not have had. So that's the heart it came from, not from a place of super abundance, but from a place of genuine concern for the welfare of others. And we typically put this like saying, this is not just about giving, this is about sharing. This is not about giving, it's about sharing. When you say I'm giving, that means, okay, I have a lot, so you can have this one, right? Just stop disturbing me, take your 10 cities. But sharing means we have one, so I'm going to cut it in two and give somebody else. That's amazing. That's an amazing heart, really. And that kickstarted Theresa Naomi Foundation. So tell us about the names. Do both names belong to her, or there's another person involved?
Theresa Chocho Tete. So we picked her first name. The Naomi is a sister actually who passed away 2 weeks before she did. Okay, so that's I put the two first names together, and we have Theresa Naomi Foundation. So
Awesome.
that's
So how has the
where.
journey been? What have you been up to? Delivering on your assignment?
Okay, so I think we started with what we have. Okay, we didn't start as people that had so much. We also decided to start with what we have. Now, the seed money for Theresa Naomi is actually the funeral donations. All the, yeah, during that period, we had a number of people donating or giving monies for the funeral. So after all the expenses have been made, the balance, or should I say the leftover of all of those donations, that is what I use that seed money to start the foundation. Now, we started out by, it was very simple. Children in a community that had to go to school, but for one reason or the other, they are not able to go, right? We just find out, okay, where is the parent who is standing in for the child? What can we add up? Okay, we were not given full scholarships. We just add up to whatever it is that you have and then support you to school. So that's what we're doing in April when we started. In September, that's where we do the TNF Memorial Day. So we pick an orphanage or a school, but this year we picked the community. But we started with the orphanages where we visit an orphanage. And then just like we would have done when she was alive, every year, about 4 or 5 years before she passed on, every September, we have some kind of party. Okay, not really a party, just food share for the children in the community. Right, year on
And
year.
this started in 2021. When is it? April, September?
Okay,
This is
so this
2021.
was actually from 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. Even 2021 September, before she passed away in March, we still had this birthday in the hospital. Yes. So it's something that we have always we've always been doing. So I think between myself and my brother and a few friends, we decided that okay, we are not going to stop, but instead of what we were doing in the community, we are going to take it to the orphanages and continue that. So we pick an orphanage. So the very first orphanage we picked was Teshi Orphanage. Then the following year, so Teshi, we've been to Nongwa, we've been to Chosen Children Home. But from last year, we entered into the special schools. So we went to the Mampong School for the Deaf. So we go along with books and stationery, some video games, and what do you have? Drinks. We just have that same party we would have had if she was alive in September. So that is what it has been so far. But this year we switched it up a bit. But that has been the journey so far. So April, we buried her in April, and that's when we founded the September. We founded a foundation. Then in September, that's her birthday. So just like you are using your birthday in October for this, we're also using a birthday for the Memorial Day for the outreach.
Awesome. A birthday every September, you do that outreach, and there's a lot about you on the internet. But I particularly was amazed when I saw the library. So I'm just gonna take a minute and show a few minutes of that clip, and that's amazing. And for those who are watching, I just want a few reactions. I want you to see again the depth of conviction that drives this kind of passion, and how Nurin is coming from a place where he lost his mother. Of course, all of us will know that you have only one mother, and there's that very strong bond on it. First time, and then from that place of pain, he's able to create something that immortalizes his mom, but at the same time gives an opportunity to the coming generation. I want to know your thoughts. Share something in the comments. Share your heart. You know, how does this strike you? And while you're doing that, I'm just going to play this a few minutes of this amazing clip, because it's just so awesome what he's been able to accomplish in this few years. So this, here we go. I think you would need my sound. Let me just be sure that my sound is there while I play this. Okay, good. All right.
So we commissioned this library and IT lab in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. You are welcome to the TNF library and IT lab for the Wakoi DA school. Okay, so in this side we have our JHS. Okay, so from JHS 1 to JHS 3, you have all the subjects: English, math, science, French, religious and moral studies, everything for junior high school in this section. Okay, all right. For this section, we have other books like story books. We have the Holy Bible also here. We have story books like Things Fall Apart from Chinua Achebe. So we have ones for the elderly ones. We have them even in our local languages like Tree. We'll make sure that the next time we come, we definitely get the Ewe books as well here. So this for the general section. Let's go to. So this section is for the more practical courses like creative arts, ICT, etc. So those ones are here. We have a lot of work books, things that are more practical for them to use. Okay, yeah, we'll come to that. So over here too, we have still on the same practical ones, creative courses, world map, things that you can use to explore. They are not necessarily in the curriculum, but they are also very vital for their education. And then the last but not the least, we have this knowledge science around. It's just to give them more photographic things about what they are studying in class. Okay, it is also meant to inspire conversation, because if you see this or any student see this, they are definitely going to ask questions. They might have even been taught in class, but now they get to see it for themselves. So this one is on the blood circulatory system. Behind me is the human.
Okay, so I want to pause here and just ask you, Nurin, how does it feel to see this coming to life? How do you feel seeing this coming to life? Super.
Well, I think this has been our biggest project in terms of the distance. Okay, from the beginning, all our projects have been in Accra. The farthest we've gone was Eastern region, but this one took us to Volta region. So in terms of distance, it's the farthest we've had. In terms of cost, this is about 4 to 5 times bigger than what we have been doing in the previous years. Okay. So the logistics, the planning, and everything that went into this, at some point it was not looking like it's coming on. But at the end of the day, when I walked into that room after we've put everything together, seeing it myself, I might say it's one of the projects I've been very proud of. Like this is the best we've been able to do. so far. But it's also scary in a way because we have been building year on year, right? So if this is what we've done this year, that means that next year we have to do even bigger than this. And knowing what went into this and trying to do bigger than what we've done this year, it kind of scares you a little, but that's also what makes the journey more interesting. So
All right.
yeah, you felt very very proud to actually put this together, because we are usually used to doing books donations, right? That's what we usually do. Right? So maybe upgrading from a books donation to setting up a library would have been okay. But then we decided to do both the books donation, the library, and the IT lab all in one project. I think when I told my team the first time, they laughed. Rebecca was like, "Yeah, like it looked almost impossible."
Yeah.
Yeah, Rebecca
So
was
so
like,
how did the fundraising go for this?
"So for this, so what we decided to do was to use things that we already have. Like I say, everything that we do, we always start with what we already have. So the computers, most of the computers are used computers from friends and family. I pick it up. The ones that we can upgrade. So some of the computers we got, maybe the memory in there is like say 1 gig, 2 gig. I step it up to something like 8 gig. We have some computers that they came in, the screen was spoiled, so you have to repair the screen. Some of the computers, it was totally dead, but we could use the parts to fix other computers. So we picked used computers. Then we also got some new ones though, but most of them are used computers that we refurbished to use. For the books, usually once the JHS students finish their BC, some of these people throw those books away. Okay, so we send the word out there. We went around some of the schools, some of the BC centers, and we collected all of this book, cleaned them up. Those ones that need rebinding, we did. Those ones that we had to, they were bad, we had to take out, we did. Yeah, so we basically just refurbished everything we got, put them all
Wow.
together, added a few new things here and there, and then touch it all up, and this is what the final product looked like.
So just to give people a general picture, how far is, I think it's called Wokwe from Accra?
Yeah, Walkway. So it's a 4.5 hour drive. If you are familiar with Sogakope or Adidome, it's a 1 hour drive from Adidome. So when you get to Sogakope, you take your left, about 30 minutes to get to Adidome. From Adidome, keep going, 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 going. Once you lose connection on all the telecom lines, MTN, Vodafone, then you are close.
You know
Yeah,
you're there, right?
yeah, yeah.
Well, the logistics of moving all this stuff must have been profound, eh?
Yes. So I think we had to go 3 times in terms of moving the items. So we had to go so one Saturday ahead of time, and then I went ahead on Tuesday, Wednesday. Then the rest of the things came in on Thursday. So we had to do a total of 3 trips in transporting all the items there. But when it came to the labor, we wanted to make this a community project, right? So I moved the paints and what have you from Accra, but the painter came from the community, right? The wood came from the community, the carpenters came from the community. So we moved the logistics of the materials from Accra, but in terms of labor, in terms of personnel, we used
Localized.
the children, yeah, the localized, because we wanted all of them to be involved. that it's not we giving you an handout, but it's something that we actually built together. So we even have some students and their parents, as well as teachers, all of them painting, arranging books, and all of it. So it was a community project. We did it together. The logistics came from us, but in terms of the labor, the human resource, majority of it came from the community.
Awesome. So let's take a few comments. And Jennifer Adu says, "Well done." And I read Anne's. Yes, I think I didn't read this earlier. Anne says, "What an inspiring story of honoring the legacy of a blessed mother. And this library is a wonderful achievement. So well done." Rebecca South also says, "Well done, TNF team." Yeah, I think Jennifer Ado was laughing at the loss of network. As soon as you lose connectivity,
then you are close by. So it was crazy, and I couldn't believe that that's where people actually live. No, I mean, when we even lose reception for 30 minutes over here, it's worrisome. So imagine that, okay, for you, that's what it is. I think one funny story, I sent some things over. Okay, I had a whole sketch or a plan of what I wanted the library to look like. So I sent it over to the assemblyman. He was our attached person on the ground. Okay, and I was expecting a response from him. It's been days; he has not responded. So the day he called back, I was like, I sent you this 3 days ago. How come you've not responded? We're like, oh, I've not been to town. So what do you mean? They say, yeah, I have to go to town to go and respond to you. So you move from Wako. When you get to the 50 minutes drive from Wako to Adidome. Adidome is like a town, so you are going to get reception there. So you pick a car. Usually they moved around a lot with motorbikes. So you pick a motorbike from Wako to Adidome. When you get there, you get good reception. Then you can respond to the messages. So we had to fix like a timeline.
To take a call.
Yeah. The network over there. It's not the best. We are hoping to get them a Starlink. Okay, because internet access is once you connect them to the internet, then you've given them access to a whole new world, a whole lot of resources that they can use. Yeah, but for now, I developed some locally hosted LLMs. Okay. So that is what is running on the computers over there. So we have networked the lab though, even though there is no internet, we have networked the computers in there. And then there's a web page that I designed. Once you search any search parameter, say what is photosynthesis, what is blood circulation, it will just make an API call to the LLM that is hosted on one of the machines, and then it will return you the response in the way that Google would have done. I use the Google format. So that's my own way of trying to give them access to the internet. But
that's absolutely brilliant. That's brilliant. This is the IT doing something important. I was about to confirm LLM as a large language model, and he said yes. So
yes.
Woko has access to AI, but not access to telephony.
To the internet, yes, they do. So we actually named it for them. So we call it Woko Search, right? When you double click on, so there's a shortcut link on all the desktop computers in the lab. Once you double click, it gives you a search page, and then from there, just type in anything at all you want. Once you search, enter, it gives you the search results. But those search results, the responses are coming from the LLM. It's not coming from the internet.
Wow, amazing. Wow, okay. I know that a few people are still on the call, and I need you to tag someone to hear this. This is an amazing story. This is brilliant. This is creative thinking community mobilization, and fundraising all going on at the same time. So I'm going to be asking Wahab to tell us more about what he's doing next. But let's just take a few minutes and look at this
world map. You want to explore anything at all that comes to their mind. They can just type it on the computers and then they will get answers to. The projector here is to help the teacher project it for them. They get to see what the teacher is doing and then they will be able to replicate the same. So thank you all. Once again, you are welcome to. Na leo protocol kata on comme plein electric kata medi ma chomon pokwa ya dakpene Theresa Naomi Foundation be ni kama jole electric akpo be amada va ko abatu ICT lab atu library nami atu project akweto akpedenti a akpeno ma unayira ke ma dun gbe no be enana guy no wonami a Bima atomagba adebe enunaglo kabo mia alesese be dodo do da sia de kemia ten awo alupo pelu da sia de kemia ten awo be mia vi over echomanachi le computer mo so ma mia.
So let me ask Wahab, how is the LLM they interact in English with the LLM, correct?
Yes,
so
they do.
The young people are familiar with are educated enough to interact with the systems.
Okay, so one of the things that I did in designing the workbook search was the context that I give the AI is that, number one, you are dealing with people in the rural community. Number two, these are people between the ages of 1 to 14. Number three, they have very limited education, so the exposure is low. So I put this and many other context. I put all of this together. So even when you type something wrong, because I have given that pre-context to the LLM that this is where it's coming from, or this is the kind of persona you are dealing with, when you even spell photosynthesis wrong, it will change it to the correct thing. Okay. So that they don't have to do so much in interacting with it. How will you talk to your teacher? You say, sir, please, what's photosynthesis? When you say, sir, please, what's photosynthesis? The workbook search has been designed to be able to understand that because it has been trained with the persona of the kind of questions it should expect. Yeah, so that's how, so they're able to communicate in the most basic ways yet. Because if you give them access to an actual chat GPT, then you will have to train them on prompt engineering.
Yeah.
When you set up this layer, this API layer, where you've given the context and everything in there, whatever they type in there, it goes through the context, it will reformat it before it gets to the LLM, and then the responses that come back are suited. And it should also answer the questions in very, very basic terms. Okay, so it was designed for them. So we took them into consideration that, okay, this is the persona you are dealing with. So ensure that your responses to them are simple enough. Use local examples, okay, like very, very basic examples to try and explain the concept. So all of that was considered in building that LLM for them.
Wow. This is brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so I'm going to ask Wahab to tell us what he's doing next, because we need to support this. We need to support the progress of this work. Before that, I'll just, I showed this picture earlier, and tell us a little bit about this book before I proceed. What happens with these books here? This is printed by your foundation and distributed free.
Yes. So every year we distribute a minimum of 1,000 exercise books. Okay, so this year we printed 1,400. Okay, so we had 1,400 in all. So what we do is, so this school had a population of I think 110, 120. So with 1,000 books, at least each person should get more than 5, 6 copies. There are 39 subjects. If you're able to give them 6 books out of the 9, that should help. Okay, so every year we do that. One interesting thing is on the back cover of the book, we advertise our sponsors at the back. Yes. So for anyone that is able to make a contribution of say 2,000 plus, we take either their company logo or an image that they would like us to use to advertise them on the books. We have, so the back cover is for our sponsors. That's what we do. So minimum of 1,000 copies every year. Last year was 1,000. The year before was 1,600. This year was 1,400. Hopefully next year our minimum should be 2,000. Assuming everything goes as planned.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. So a lot of commitment, a lot of creativity, and a lot of community building commitment. He's been doing this for 4 years minimum, pushing, raising funds, creating partnerships, discovering villages, including those that have no connectivity. And this is no data connectivity, no internet connectivity, if I'm not mistaken. He has to somebody has to take a trip.
It was very challenging. I mean, when I think one thing that happened was, I think a day before the program, right? I saw the sockets for the lights. Okay, the light sockets in there. From Accra, if you see a socket, you're not going to wonder if the socket is working.
Yeah.
So I saw sockets that I thought, okay, everything is fine. The day before the program, I've set up all the computers. Okay, let's power them up. And they were like, there's no light in this entire building. I'm like, what do you guys mean? They said, well, there has never been a need for light here. So there's no light.
Really?
I said, are you guys joking? They were like, there's no light in this building. So that's
how do you manage? You had to get a generator for the library as well.
Okay, so we had to go. We got an electrician. The first one who came to blow things up because he wasn't good. He wasn't well qualified. So we had to go into town. And bear in mind that going into town is a 50 minutes to an hour drive into town, and get a different electrician there. He came in. We have to get some wires and co. And then went to the next neighbor, and then connect lights from that neighbor into the library. Yeah. So I think, Baba, we've actually learned a lot about scoping projects, not making assumptions, because there were a number of things that when we saw, we just assumed, oh, okay, yeah, there's a socket, there will be lights. They give you a room, excuse me to say, you don't check the washroom. That one is a different story. Yeah. Oh, they told us they were going to give us a place to stay and all of that. I said, okay, send me pictures of the room. They sent me pictures of the room. It was okay. I could manage for the 1 week that I was spending with them, but I didn't check the washroom. Only to find out that the washroom, from your room to the washroom, is another distance. But yeah, it all made it interesting. It was one challenge after the other, even whilst we were on ground. And you are far away from resources, so you have to learn to make do with the resources that are available to you. So it pushed us, it really tested us. If you were not committed, you were not ready to do it. There were several instances where, like, okay, I mean, we've brought books, let's just give them the books, and so we kept pushing, kept finding very creative ways around it, and lo and behold, we're able to pull it through. So thank you once again to, I mean, yourself, you've been part of our journey, going back a few years. There are people like Mr. Tijani Taiwo. He has also been a very great support for us year on year. For him, every program we have throughout the year, from
Wow.
our mentorship. We have a scholarship and mentorship program. We also have a life and exams program. I'll go through that later on. So
Okay.
every program that we do throughout the year, he has been a very great support. Mr. Fred Duval of Apacan Security, he has also been very great. For him, he believed in us before we could do even our first project. So a very, very big thank you to Mr. Fred Duval. And last but not the least goes to J-Mara Ministries in Florida. Yeah, they are our biggest donors.
Wow.
Yes, they've also been with us. They joined us in our second year, but they have stuck with us throughout, up to now. So we have some amazing donors that have been working with us year in, year out throughout the various initiatives we've been running. So a very big thank you to them for believing in us to actually put all of this together.
Beautiful. And so this is now my turn to blow the trumpet again and to call attention to, because just like Wahab said, we have quite a few partners, and but you can see that to get one library done, it took a lot of effort, a lot of sacrifice. It's almost like mission work. And like I used to say, that development work is not for the faint-hearted. So if you cannot adjust your comfort level, you may not be able to do that kind of work. Answers truly brilliant solution created by Mr. Wahab to bring knowledge to the youth and children despite internet limitations. So when working in Africa, you have to be creative, you have to be resilient, and you have to navigate the challenging realities. Interestingly, on this AI conversation, I read a post today on LinkedIn where someone was, balancing or juxtaposing the arguments. Should Africa be leapfrogging to the AI, the RPA, etc., or should Africa fix the fundamentals like power and internet and road networks? So that is a conversation that is ongoing. I don't know where you stand on it, audience. What do you think? Should we be leapfrogging? Should we be doing AI? Should we be exhibiting robots? I saw an exhibition of robots. Or do we need to fix certain fundamentals? Your thoughts. But whether you like it or not, AI has arrived with a localized LLM due to the creativity of the Theresa Naomi Foundation. And one of the things we want to ask you today is to support this work. And we are making a promise on our part that if you support this work, we'll send you one of our books. I don't have all of them here, but I have one of them here. I have a few others around. We'll send you one of our books. If you're in Nigeria, if you're in Ghana, if you're in UK, US, all we have to do, because we're on Amazon, all we have to do is to make an order in your name. You give us an address, and it will be sent to you. All you have to pay is this delivery fees. But the point is, we want to kind of like motivate you. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, tag them. Motivate you to participate, send something. And if you have something to send today, you can do it today. And that is why we have Wahab's details at the last point here. If you're in Ghana, if you're in Nigeria, you can actually make a donation. If you're outside, you can get in touch with him on LinkedIn. We are just the connectors. We're connecting you with him. We're not collecting funds on his behalf. So get in touch with him, become a partner, have your name at the back of this book, have your brand at the back of this book. Do something important, do something powerful, with your money. Remember, entropy, everything is what? Decaying. So before it all decays, find a way to make it as useful as possible. I'm just going to also show this. I know Wahab earlier talked about his mom and some of the parties they used to have from the beginning, and how she passed on. This was 58, 55. I mean, less than 60, both of them painful exits, but they created something powerful, something new. And these are some of the pictures he shared with me. This was his younger self. You can see that he looks much younger there, right? When he started this work and he stuck to it. This is the library we just looked at on video. This is a book distribution and some other things. So brilliant work, brilliant commitment, consistency, and that is why we have him on the show today, to show you that someone here needs your attention. Let me, Yetunde is here. Well done, Nurin Latte. Beautiful work. You're contributing to the upward increase of human capital development in Wokpe. Wow, this is a good one. Brilliant delivery by Yetunde. Thank you so much. Thank you for being there. So Wahab, you are going to tell us a bit about what are you doing right now? What can we support you in right now? And you also wanted to add a few thoughts on those who are supporting you already and some other things we need to know. You have the floor.
All right. So, like I mentioned, we use old books, old computers, new ones as well. So if you have any old textbook, okay, it doesn't matter the subject, right? If you have any old textbooks that have been lying around for a while, you can just reach out to me on any of my social media handles. It's Nurin Wahab Latte on LinkedIn, on Facebook, same name. On Instagram, it's New Reading, or you can just search for Theresa Naomi Foundation. It's same across all the social media channels from TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Theresa Naomi Foundation. Once you reach out, we'll definitely arrange with you how to pick the items. So if you have any old books or new ones, if you have any used computers or brand new computers that you would like to share, any of these items, once you reach out to us, we'll arrange how to pick them up. And also you can donate in cash. Also, we have our MTN Momo, we have our USSD *227 *2244 hash on all the networks that USSD works. It will give you the opportunity to be able to make your donation to us in cash. But
all right,
apart
I mean,
from that,
I really like how you injected technology into everything you're doing, from LLMs to USSD. From
well,
LLMs,
okay,
we
then
just saw LLM somewhere. Now we're seeing USSD. Guys,
like
try it out.
I
Try it
said,
out in Ghana.
so we basically, it's not everyone that has a smartphone. So the
Mhm.
USSD works across whether a smartphone or not is not. Also on our website, theresanaomifoundation.com, there's a gift shop there where you can
Yeah.
pick any of these items and then pay the amounts for it, and then we will purchase them on your behalf. So you can go onto the teresanaomi.foundation/gift shop. We have the items that we usually use in this outreach. You can purchase any of them. Once you make the purchase, it will be delivered to us. Then we use it in our next program. Also, we run a Naomi Girl Power initiative. So that's an initiative that targets the girl child in some of this community. One story that's it was really sad for me when we went to Wakpo, even though we went there to build a library. I came across this young lady called Ivy. It was one of the smartest in their class. Okay. So we had the program on Saturday, but from Monday all throughout till Friday, some of our volunteers were teaching in the school, right? Myself included. So very bright young girl. On Saturday after the program, I realized she was very restless, right? So I approached her, I tried talking to her, what's going on? She was not responding. So I had to get one of the natives to speak to her. And then they narrated a whole story that every month she has this severe abdomen. They've taken it to the local clinic, they've taken it to the hospital, it is not going. So now they've taken her to a spiritual man to help her with the pain. I said, what do you mean by you've taken her to a spiritual man? He said, yeah, they think it will go. Then every month it will come back again. then it will go, then it will come back again. So they believe it's spiritual. Second, they are talking about menstrual cramps.
Yeah.
That's not spiritual. Okay, so we run the 𝐬𝐚𝐢𝐝 initiative to target some of these things. So when we have any of our programs, whether life and exams, whether Memorial Day, the 𝐬𝐚𝐢𝐝 initiative being led by Jennifer Addo, assisted by Rebecca Seal, they share the sanitary kits. Okay, and then they also offer this talk on some of these myths. They also teach them how to use the pad. They do all of those education that are majorly for ladies. They target some of these things because it's the 21st century. In 2025, there's a mother somewhere who thinks menstrual cramps is spiritual. If someone had told me, I would not believe it. But I heard it for myself. Okay, the lady's name is Ivy. Okay, she mentioned it. I said, no, there's something I don't think I'm hearing her well. And they called her mom for me. And her mom also narrated the same thing. I said, no, maybe her mom too is not getting it. And they called their kind of a women's organizer, an elderly woman in the neighborhood. And she also like, yes. Narrated the same thing, which means that this is 3 generations. And all of them think menstrual cramps is a spiritual issue. In 2025. So we are beefing up our 𝐬𝐚𝐢𝐝 initiative. Initially, it was just an add-on to our main programs, which are majorly on education. But we're trying to beef it up this year. Okay, so starting next year, we'll be running some of these programs in these communities where we target the myths of menstrual hygiene, the myths of girl-child education, and the like. And so if anyone has any sanitary pads or has any connection to any of the organizations that can help us with the sanitary pads or books around some of these topics, we are willing to take that as well, because it's a real problem. It's not one of the things I thought of as something that critical. Like I said, 𝐬𝐚𝐢𝐝 initiative is just an add-on. When we go anywhere, then we try to do something small for the girls. But it's something that we will have to start treating as a very major initiative going forward.
You know, yesterday we were joking that some people are praying that God will send them to the US. And when we talked to Heather and Nifome, and they talking about breakthroughs in getting a visa, you know, to go to the West. But if God is going to send you somewhere, He's going to send you to where there's a need. So I think Wahab just discovered another need, a need for basic knowledge, right? Just that. Because how do we equip these girls to take care of themselves? You know, how do we do that? And that's the direction that Nurin is now looking at, the Naomi Girl Power Initiative, which is expected to pass on knowledge and give people the opportunity to take care of themselves in those remote villages. They think that menstrual cramps are a spiritual problem, but they are not. And it reminds me of an interesting advert. They used a certain prophet's voice in Ghana, and it was saying your business failure is not a spiritual problem, it's the dental problem when you're not able to smile properly. So you have to use Pepsodent. They're going to have to pay me for this. So I don't know whether that voice was AI generated now that we're talking about AI, but the point is some problems you think are spiritual, maybe in your business nobody's coming because your face is always tight, you're not smiling. The same way somebody out there thinks that menstrual cramps are spiritual. Somebody needs to tell them they are not, and somebody needs to provide sanitary pads for them. And these days I know that there are those that are even reusable, and in East Africa there's some work going on that. So Jennifer says we are in need of sanitary pads and sanitary kits to support our girls, and we'll definitely send you some from what do you call them, secure sanitary pads. We have a bunch that we have been selling, so we're going to send you a bit of that. So I'll let one of the girls send you some of that. Secure sanitary pads was part of the business, so we're making that commitment, and I want everybody on the call, make a commitment, right? And I like the fact that you have these items in your gift shop. I also saw the 𝐤𝐴𝐳 sanitary pad, so I'm not advertising
Yes.
for
Yeah.
secure. I'm just saying that
Oh,
we
sure,
do
sure.
have
I
that.
mean, any sanitary pad at
Yeah, any
all.
sanitary
But
pad
I
works.
think over the years, it's been years that we have
Yeah.
been using. Last year we partnered with 𝐜𝐨𝐴𝐳, Miss Dion. So
Okay.
she gave out 𝐤𝐴𝐳, okay,
Mm.
and before that, prior to that, we've been using 𝐤𝐴𝐳. But any sanitary pad at all is truly welcome.
Awesome, beautiful. So to donate, you can do *227 *2244 hash, or you can go to the website, buy something, or you can basically send mobile money to the Theresa Naomi Memorial Foundation, MTN mobile money 0530461931, and that is what is in your view. Let me just take a few more comments from the audience, and then we'll wrap up for today. I want to appreciate everyone who joined. Yetunde says, well done, Nurin, Latte, Wahab. Beautiful work you're doing, contributing to the rate growth of human capital development in Africa. Congratulations. Jennifer Adu says, we are in need of sanitary pads and sanitary kits to support our girls. Thank you. And all the way from Switzerland says, thank you, Brother Kenneth and Mr. Wahab, for this truly inspiring session. God bless you both mightily. Jennifer says, thank you. And I want to encourage everyone, please share this with your friends. The whole point of this session is to give visibility, more visibility, to the work that our friends are doing. And today we've spoken to Nuruddin Wahab Latte on the work being done by Theresa Naomi Foundation. They've done a lot of work reaching out to schools, reaching out to students, building a library in Wokwe, which is equipped with a localized large language model, creative thinking. And you see that creative thinking, and they have gone further to begin to touch the lives of girls, to change the mindset and to help them take care of their physical body. So do more to support this. Do more to support this. Connect with Wahab on LinkedIn if you want to have conversations around what else you can do. He has talked about giving out old textbooks, devices, sanitary pads, cash, whatever it is you can do to make things happen for Theresa Naomi Foundation. Jennifer says, God bless you all. Don't forget to support these initiatives. And I want to ask you, if you're in Ghana, try the USSD. I just like the fact that technology is everywhere. AI, USSD, *227 *2244 hash. It works. And make sure. And if you do, I am personally giving you a book. If you want to get a book, make a donation, fill up this form that we put in the chat. When you fill it up, we'll get your location, and you'll be able to we'll be able to send you a book if you're in specific locations. We want to share books with you. This is one of them. I'm expecting others to come in the next 1 week or so. So do connect. Do connect. Do connect. I just read something in the private chat that's it's sticking. Do connect and get a book. Make a donation, please. Let's not leave any of these ones. Let's not leave any of our friends hanging. Let's not leave them hanging. I know that someone might be watching out there. Let me remove this from the screen. Someone might be watching out there who has worked with Nurin. You've worked in EcoBank or in CBG or in Fidelity Bank or elsewhere. This is the time to show your friendship, show your commitment. You can't go to work where you can't sleep in a room without a washroom. He has done it on your behalf. Support him, right? You can't you probably you've never seen somewhere where your phone is not working. You are fully comfortable. 𝐸𝐶 says, great work, Mr. Latte. Keep up the good work. We are with you. Cheers. So she'll be the one sending you the sanitary pads. Now, you are out there as an audience, and remember what I've said. Remember what I've said. Awesome. Remember what I've said, that in some cases, you think that by accumulating or storing up this wealth is going to just last forever. It doesn't. Entropic. In a few years, the cars will decay, the houses will decay, right? Is the legacy. Think about something. Think about any name you know from the last 100 years. Any name you know. Today, we keep a list of Forbes rich lists, right? But think about any name you know from the last 100 years. What do we remember them for? If I think off the top of my head, Mary Slessor, William Wilberforce, Lord Lugard, do we remember anybody because they were rich? We don't remember anyone because they were rich. Think about it deeply. I want you to really, really think about it. There's no one we remember simply because he was the richest man. Maybe he used his wealth for something. The people we remember the most are those who got money moving. Money is currency. The power you have is your capacity to let it pass through you, right? That's the power you really have. How much do you control? How much is moving through you? All right, I could go on and on with this, but bottom line, dial it. *224, *227, *2244. If you like USSD, if you like something else, if you want to go to the website, buy something, make something happen. If you have an old PC, an old computer, an old device, if you have sanitary pads, they all need it. We are in need of sanitary pads and kits to support our girls. It's no longer a spiritual problem. It is your problem. You've heard about it, so it's now your problem. Send in the sanitary pads. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Let me play one more video. I've just Wahab had just sent me another one, which I need to send for the girls. Just give us a minute and watch.
Hello, Ivy. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
So, Theresa Naomi Foundation has come to give your school a library and also an IT lab. How do you feel about it?
I'm very so happy that they help us so many things.
So let me just pause this. This is Ivy. This is the girl that was educated by her mother and grandmother that her menstrual cramps are spiritual. So if you take a look at her from outside, intelligent looking girl, able to communicate, but fed with the wrong information and has no access to anything different, no internet, nothing, nowhere to Google. So she believes what she's been told, right? Let's
I will pray for them to give us more, to give you more.
Oh, thank you so much. And we pray that Theresa Naomi Foundation will come back and do more for you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello.
All right. So essentially, and I want you to think about it again. Think deeply. How much does a sanitary pad cost? Is maximum maybe 20 cedis, 25 cedis. That is 4 cups of coffee in some places. That is a quarter of a cup of coffee. That means if you buy 1 cup of coffee, you have bought 4 sanitary pads in some environments, right? That is probably, what else could I compare it with? A snack. So if you can spare 4, 5, 10, spare it. Make somebody's life better for it. So we could go on and on, but we have to close out. And I'm going to ask Nurin has something to say finally before I close out. Let me just give him the opportunity.
All right. So I think I didn't mention that I'm also an October born. So yeah, it's our birthday month. Just following in your footsteps, you have given out 5 slots for NGOs to come out and share. So thank you very much for this platform. So in the same light of the 5, I'm also giving out the opportunity for either 5 NGOs or SMEs and any entrepreneur that needs a website. I'm willing to develop this website for them for free. 5 SMEs or NGOs to develop their website for free. They will just have to take up for the hosting and the domain. But in terms of developing the website, I'm offering to do that for 5 NGOs and SMEs. Develop a website for them for free. Just following in your footsteps of the 5. So happy birthday in advance.
Amazing. Oh, that is amazing. I want somebody to type in the chat. I know Chisom might still be there. How much does it cost to build a website? Let it not come from Wahab, so he's not healing himself. Just tell us how much in the chat does it typically come. In Nigeria, it costs 150,000 or 200,000. That's about 1,000 cities, 2,000 cities, 3,000 cities, depending. Now, Wahab is saying, I'm giving you for free. So if you are if you own an SME, I want you to do something very quickly. If you own an SME, if you run an SME, if you run an NGO, type in the chat what you do right now. So you start taking up the opportunity right now. Start telling us what you do. If you like a free website from Wahab, and he's going to do this as part of his birthday celebrations in October. Announce yourself and take advantage of the opportunity. So you have free books, you have free websites, and this is just to keep the mission going, about helping out those who have less less opportunities than we have had. All right, thank you, Nurin, so much. Thank you so much. All right, so we have to close out. We could go on and on. We could push this live to extremes, right? But we have to close out, and we want you to share this with your friends. Put it on your WhatsApp status, put it on your LinkedIn status, right? Share it on Facebook. Joycelyn says, wow, thank you, Wahab. God bless you. Happy birthday in advance, sir. So free websites are working. So everyone, just share it right now. Share it to someone. Share the video. Tag someone who may need this. Tag someone who can help, who can support. Connect with Wahab on LinkedIn. Do it right away. If you leave it, you will not do it later. So do it right away as soon as you are seeing this. All right. So Wahab, thank you so much for your presence today. I'm going to leave the today's session with a short video, one more short video from a friend of ours, Life Points UC Samuel, who is a fantastic family values coach. And the reason is we started this by talking about our childhood memories and how we want to raise a new generation, and how that new generation is not necessarily only those you are biologically fathering or mothering, but whatever be the case, there's that one of the things we want to pass across to the next generation is a strong sense of value. So I'm going to just play that right now.
So what is family value? Family values are fundamental beliefs and principles that serve as a guide for all actions made by members of that family. So the totality of their beliefs and action, ideas that influences their action is called family values. Now, family values are specific for each homes. So it varies from one household to the other, and then from time to time throughout history. And that's because family values are tailored to the operations and functionalities of every home. People do not realize that they need family values until a crisis arises. That's what happens. So when the trouble comes and you have to take a decision that probably affects your belief, then that's when they realize that they need to come up with a family value that will no longer temper with their beliefs and their standards. However, for you, it doesn't have to be so. If you already do not have one, that's no problem because you're going to start. But it's always advisable to start discussing family values as early as possible. That is to say, as an individual, if you haven't gotten married yet, you should have your personal values so that when you are relating with someone, you can sit down together to know if your values align. Now, what are the importance of family values? What am I emphasizing on it? Family values help to make decisions easy. From any home, any child from any home, you will find it easy because your beliefs are already outlined. By default, you know what your family believes in. So there is no need entangling yourself with what you know that your family does not believe in or what you know is not part of your life. So that makes it easy for any child to take decision. Number two, it teaches you a sense of what is right or wrong. Because
we will stop there. If you want to see the end of that video, please look for UC Samuel on LinkedIn. I think she's on LinkedIn and YouTube. You see the end of that video. She's an amazing person with respect to values, and I thought to feature that here. And also, you please follow Theresa Naomi Foundation. All their presence on social media is visible on Linktree, and we have also shared with you the website on this broadcast. Make things happen for that next girl in Wukwe, in any other village that Wahab will be visiting. And, keep your heart open to stretch your kindness to the rest of the world. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about marriage. And I know this is going to be exciting because many people have never heard me talk about marriage. That's what we're going to start with tomorrow. We're also going to be interviewing Yetunde Macaulay and Prosper Afechi. So please be here. 5 p.m. tomorrow is day 3, and we're pushing it up to the 5th day. Thank you very much for being there. And thank you very much, Wahab. I know you have to step out soon. I really appreciate you, and we'll make things happen, more things happen together. Have a wonderful rest of the day. I will close out for the external audience while we wrap up internally.